Hello everyone, today we will do single phase full wave thyristor rectifier. Full wave means you convert the positive half cycle and negative half cycle in the rectification process. So here we use thyristors to do the rectification. You can say this one as single phase full wave thyristor rectifier or single phase uh, controlled full wave controlled rectification as well. By assuming peak value of the supply, this one is Vm and firing angle of each thyristor is alpha. First one is draw the waveform of input voltage and current. This is the input voltage. Draw the waveform of output voltage and current. This one, and trigger pulse waveforms. Trigger pulses of these thyristors. D. Draw the waveforms of currents through each semiconductor devices. These semiconductor devices. Calculate the average voltage across the load. This is the load. And also you need to remember that these waveforms can be different with the load. Here we are using resistive load, but when it comes to RL load or inductive load or capacitive load, the waveforms can be different. So input voltage waveform is something like this. Here we use voltage source, so it doesn't matter whatever the circuit is, voltage, input voltage will vary like this. We will skip this waveform for a moment, input current, and we will jump into this one, B part. Draw the waveform of output voltage and current. First we will take this output voltage. So from 0 to alpha, from here to here, what will happen? We do not turn on T1 and T2. So these two parts are disconnected. So the current can't flow this path because these two, T3 and T4, are reverse bias. So what will happen? You don't have any potential difference from here to there or there to here. Right? You can take this as V0, right? Because you don't have any current from 0 to alpha. So the voltage difference from here to there or there to here is 0. So the moment you turn on this thyristor and that thyristor, which is happening there at alpha, what will happen is this path is short circuited and this path is also short circuited. So what will happen? This is the voltage source. Current will flow in this path. all the way from here to there. So current path is like this. So there you have potential difference, so something like this from here to there. Now we will take the negative half cycle. So there what will happen is, let me erase these things. The voltage is applied like this. So at the beginning, from 5 to 5 plus alpha, T4 and T3 won't work. We do not turn on T3 and T4. You don't have any path to flow the current. From here you can't go this way because this is reverse bias and this is turn off. So as same as from 0 to alpha, from 5 to 5 plus alpha, you don't have any potential difference from here to there, because there is no current going through this resistor. So you can mark it something like this, and as soon as you remove this barrier, you give the pulse to T3 and T4, what will happen is this will short circuit and this will also short circuit. Then what will happen? Current will flow from here all the way from here to there, this part. And because that current, you have potential difference from here to there. So you can mark that one like this. So from alpha to phi, we've got the same direction, and from here to there, we've got the same direction. So it's something like this. So if you apply V naught is equal to I naught R, you can simply get the output current voltage, output current waveform, right? So here the maximum value is Vm by R. Now we will take this one, input current. So when it comes to input current from 0 to alpha, this one and this one won't work. So at that time you don't have any path, you don't have any path to flow, because this is also reverse bias. This is the voltage at the positive half cycle, plus voltage. This is reverse bias and that is also disconnected. So you don't have any path to flow. So from here to there, current is 0. when you turn on T1 and T2, what will happen? Current will flow, and as same as that, from here to here, T3 and T4 is turned off, and T1 and T2 is reverse bias. So what will happen? You don't have any path to flow, so it's like this, and as soon as you turn on T3 and T4, current will flow in the reverse direction. First it will flow like this, and when you make it reverse, current will flow like this. So input current waveform is something like this. Here you can mark Vm by R, Vm by R. And here it's minus Vm by R. Part C is asking trigger pulse waveform. So when it comes to trigger pulses, so in the positive half cycle, voltage is applied like this. You have to turn on T1 and T2. So from 0 to alpha, we do not turn on this one and that one. So when it comes to alpha, you should apply pulse to T1 and T2. So these two will turn on. So when it comes to phi, what will happen? Applied voltage will come to 0, and in the negative half cycle, these two will reverse bias and automatically that will turn off. So from phi to phi plus alpha, you won't turn on T3 and T4. At phi plus alpha, you again give another pulse to T3 and another pulse to T4 simultaneously. So you turn on T3 and T4, then like this, circuit will work. The next important thing I need to highlight is these voltage waveforms, these current waveforms can be different if you have an inductive load, or if you have a capacitive load, inductive load or capacitive load. These waveforms can be different. For now, we will talk only about resistive loads, and then we will talk about inductive and capacitive loads. Part D is draw the waveforms of current through each semiconductor device T1, T2, T3 and T4. So as I explained you earlier, from 0 to alpha you don't have any path to flow the current. So from here to alpha it is 0, and alpha to phi, this one and that one will work. So current will go like this. And in the negative half cycle, this should be IT1 and IT4, IT3 and IT4. Current will go like this. So if you take this path as positive, it's better to take this path as negative. So this should be phi plus alpha, and peak values are Vm divided by R and minus Vm divided by R. So the last part is calculate the average voltage across the load. So before calculate the average voltage, we have to find the average voltage waveform across the load. This is for all the scenarios. If you need to calculate average voltage across something, first you have to find the voltage waveform. So in part B we worked on this average voltage waveform. So it's like this. So as you all know, the equation for average voltage is something like this. V average is equal to 1 divided by period and integration whatever the voltage waveform d into d theta. So if you come to this graph, here you can see this part from 0 to phi is repeating again and again. So from here to there, this is you can take this one as period of this waveform. So 1 over phi and this one. So this is a complex waveform. So you have to divide this waveform into two. This is the first part and this is the second part. So if you take first part, voltage is 0. This is 0 from 0 to alpha. Alpha to phi, you can simply calculate this one and get the waveform is Vm sin theta. This is 0, and then you can integrate this one and get this final answer.